And we're back, Ironing Out the Kinks podcast, episode 6, with Luke and Chelsea, the naughty married couple who like talking about all things naughty, sexual fantasies, sexual stories, just all the good stuff, really. So normally, we just jump straight into it. We do a quick little intro and we jump straight into it. I'm going to flip it around today. How do people submit to us? And that's not in like a sexual, how do people submit their stories, their problems?
If you want to submit some problems, your fantasies, or a funny, embarrassing story, you can go to Ironing Out the Kinks. No, you can't. That's wrong.
What are you talking about?
You were smiling at me and threw me off a bit.
What is it then? Say it right.
IOTK.fun.
Yep.
F-U-N.
F-U-N.
And then there's a nice little submissions form on there where you can leave it anonymously. And we'll get it. And we'll should talk about it in the episodes. Easy as that.
Easy as that. And we're not going to start emailing you stuff about it afterwards. If you want to say something about maybe a past sexual partner and you don't want your partner to find out now, we're not going to start emailing you.
I mean, you can do it anonymously.
Yeah. I just think I would be worried. I'd be like, what if Chelsea sees that I'm getting this stuff from this podcast? Obviously, I've submitted something. And then you'd be like, what the fuck have you been submitting to them?
Yeah, nothing like that.
No. But hopefully you listen to this with your partner. And there's open and honest communication. But anyway, that's enough nonsense. I'm going to do a quick confession.
Go on.
Tesco donuts are second best.
No. You are so passionate.
Honestly, Marks and Sparks. Marks and Spencer's coming in for the win. Yeah. I've got nothing more to say than I'm sorry to those who I misled, I led astray. I represented myself to a false god. That's all I can say.
Well, at least you're honest. Yeah,
all right, let's get on with this fucking kinky stuff. Top 100 kinks.
So the first one is verbal degradation.
Verbal degradation. So that is verbally degrading somebody.
Yeah.
Which seems obvious, but there's a good amount of layers to this that make it exciting, I think. And obviously degradation is a whole other thing in itself. So that covers loads of stuff like, piss play or impact play or
stuff we spoke about before, more stuff that we're going to speak about.
Exactly.
So this is one of the little, I don't know why in my head I was thinking of the spider's legs. One of the legs.
One of the webs. One of the fibres of web. Honestly, are you okay?
This is one of the arms off of degradation.
Okay.
Verbal. So what is it?
It's talking to somebody in a way that degrades them, humiliates them, makes them feel not less, but...
Oh, no, less.
Yeah?
Yeah, less used.
Love it. Look at you, the fire in your eyes. This is a favourite of ours. This is something we use a lot.
Yeah. Give us an example.
What, from us?
Just in general, so people know what we're talking about.
I mean, if you, I think it definitely works both ways, but in our relationship, it works me saying it to you. So for instance, I'll tell you as I'm having sex with you that you're literally nothing. You're just a hole for me to use, and I'll make you agree with me. I'll get you to say it. So I know you're having to say this really degrading thing about yourself.
Yeah.
When in outside of the bedroom, in real life, in normal life, you're a very strong, independent woman who is very, proud of who and what you are. Hence why we're doing this fucking podcast. But in that moment, I'm able to make you admit to being, this literally anybody. I'll say to you, like, I could be fucking anybody now. I don't care. Like, you're going to get me other girls to fuck and you're going to watch, aren't you? And you're like, yeah, I will. And I'm like, you'll get turned on, won't you? And you're like, yeah. And I'm like, why? And you'll say, because I'm a dirty whore. And I'm like, exactly. That's that kind of thing. But that for us is so like enhancing.
Yeah.
We don't have to get the crops out. We don't have to get butt plugs out. We don't have to get restraints out. We can just have a filthy sex session, just having missionary sex.
That's it. It hasn't even got to be anything like kinky sex wise. We could just be having normal sex, but it takes it up that level because you're speaking to me like that. Yeah. It takes it to that naughtiness when it's just normal sex.
The amount of failed lovemaking sessions we've got under our belt is astronomical. Like, I just want like, let's just have nice, like,
let's
loving
be romantic
sex.
and love each other and stare each other in the eyes.
Exactly. I'm there just slowly pouring baby oil on my body whilst making eye contact with you. you're like taking the nipple clamps off and putting them back in the box, and then we'll start having sex and it'll be really nice and kissy, and then you'll be like, I am a bit of a slut, aren't I? And I'm, yeah, you fucking are. Yeah, that's it. And then we just go.
It's out the window.
Yeah, we're gone. And it's like, that was romantic for 8 to 12 seconds max. But verbal degradation, I think, is for those who think, actually, maybe I do like this. I think the shame part, I think shame comes from both sides. I've just got a bias in my head because I don't enjoy it being done to me, and our dynamic is very much me to you.
Yeah.
I think those who want to do it, it is a hard thing to bring up. I think, those who are the recipient of it.
If it's not previously discussed and you're having sex, and let's say, for argument's sake, the guy just calls you a little slut while they're fucking you, that could turn you off instantly if you're not into it. You could be like, get off me.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely one that you need to have a little bit of a pre-warning.
Yeah. I'd like to think, in my experience, that kind of comes with foreplay before, getting someone into bed. I like to think there's a bit of verbal foreplay.
Yeah, it's not just a case of you're going to surprise them while you're like entering them.
Yeah, exactly. But then for me, my thing is I've never had a one night stand. I've never just taken somebody home after a night out. I've no interest in that at all. It doesn't excite me because.
Well, it's unlikely you'd be doing this with a one night stand anyway. You're probably going to be doing it with the person that you're with.
Yeah, but some people would. Imagine you're a little bit drunk and it's, and you're like, want to be really dirty. Everyone turns into a fucking porn star when they're drunk, don't they?
Yeah.
I'm going to be a bit dirty and I'm going to spit in this girl's mouth and call her a whore. And she's like, what just happened?
You're scaring me. Yeah, I'm leaving.
Exactly. I'm 25. I've slept with 2 people in my life. Tonight's a one-off and I've just finished church today.
Oh, no.
Imagine. So there has to be some sort of conversation had. But I think I was thinking about this when we mentioned it before and I was like, oh, it's probably harder for the women. I don't think it is. I think if I said to you, I want you to verbally degrade me. I want you to tell me things. I want you to ridicule my dick size. I want you to tell me. Yeah,
that's what I was about to go to. Some guys will have a kink of tell me my dick's tiny and that it's doing nothing for you. And I think every woman could start abusing off the back of that.
Yeah, I think women would probably be like, yeah, you know what? You didn't take the rubbish out today. Yeah, your fucking dick is tiny, you little penis boy.
You've never made me come.
Yeah. And then they're like, but
it's adorable seeing you try.
Shit, I don't like you getting comfortable with this. I don't like it. No. Because, maybe in the moment, but afterwards I'm going to be like, tell me that wasn't true.
Well, that's the thing as well, that in the moment, it doesn't mean that you think any less of your partner.
No.
9 times out of 10 when we do it, after we're done, you curl into me. You're like, I didn't mean any of that, right? I don't mean any of it. I love you so much.
I feel guilty, and you'll like look at me like an absolute weirdo and be like, I loved it.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I know. I just don't ever want you to think, does he actually think of me like this? Especially when I'm saying like, I'm gonna make you rim me whilst I'm fucking somebody else, just so you get to see how much they enjoy it whilst I'm getting pleasure. You know what I mean? Like when I really almost make it personal. But
it also, in the same breath, for us anyway, that's probably going to happen. So I'm like, yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. I'm turned on. I want to do it. Yeah, no, that sounds good. But I like to just reassure you in the tail end of it. That isn't how I feel. I love you so much. So I think that's probably an important thing to do as well.
Yeah.
Don't know whether the dynamic works all the way around for people.
Moment.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's a real good gateway into things like a bit more BDSM style, male dom sub type stuff. I think this is a really good thing. If you're married and you're like, maybe we want to try this, I think it's a really good way. One, it takes no money to buy any equipment or anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're not having to do anything. So like, if I degraded you by saying, which, is something we also enjoy, in a busy place, I'll say like, touch yourself, masturbate in public in a really busy area and, hide it, but you're having to do it in public. If someone does that and they're like, okay, I'll try it, and then they didn't like it, they can feel real like shame about that. If I just get on top of you and call you a whore and you're like, didn't like it, okay.
do it again, yeah.
We understand, you know, and it's a real good way to feel out early boundaries.
I think
people who want to get into this.
If you already feel like there's a natural sub-dom in your relationship, even if it's not fully established, if you naturally feel like there's one there, it's an easy one to go, give it a go. Call me a whore when you're fucking me.
Yeah.
Let me see if I like it or not.
Yeah.
Like if there's a natural dominant person within that relationship, it might come quite naturally, rather than two people who haven't established that yet, and then they're going to be like, do you want to do it to me or shall I do it to you? Talking
of natural, some people aren't natural talkers. You know, I think I read a story years ago, it was like an FHM true story or some bollocks, but it was like this guy was having sex with a girl from behind and she was like, talk dirty to me, tell me, it was something like, degrade me.
Yeah.
And he just went blank and he just was clapping cheeks from behind and just went, take that, you fat fucking bitch.
Oh, no.
Which obviously ruined the session.
Yeah.
So if it's something you're gonna do, don't surprise somebody with it. And if you're not sure about what to say, genuinely, it sounds ridiculous, but do research, watch porn.
Just watch porn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, probably because we've done it so much for so long, which is why it's very fluid for us. You know, I can do it just off the bat and so can you. But if you're not much of a talker, you're not very imaginative, you know, like the geezer from In-Betweeners, so I'm going to fuck your fucking fanny off, you twat. Just have a bit of ammunition in there. Yeah. And this comes down to like the discussion, comes down to the communication. You can't just say degrade me, because that can mean so much. You say like, I want to be made to feel, you will say, I want to be made to feel worthless, which is why I'll say, you are nothing. I could just be fucking anybody.
And someone might not want to be called worthless, but they might want to be called a slut.
Exactly.
Call me a little slut.
Exactly.
Or like it's also a similar thing, I guess, in with like daddy's girl and things like that. It makes me cringe, but that's because I don't have daddy issues. But
shots fired.
But I think it's the same principle of like being called a slut. It's not too worthless feeling.
No, and I know there's people out there trying to like reclaim the word slut, which is cool. Do that. But I don't think take it away too much, because you want it to have an edge of naughtiness, but not a cutting edge, you know, where you can actually abuse somebody with it. So, you just got to find that limit. And if you want to do that kind of thing, you've got to make sure that you have expressed your limit.
Yeah.
But yeah, right, we fingered that one to death. What's next?
The next one is orgasm denial.
Yes! We're just covering us this week.
We are a little bit.
Just this. Buys into similar to what we were talking about with degradation, but all comes under the same.
Yeah, I don't think it is, because I don't feel degraded when that happens. Yeah, I feel more of I guess, like I'm playing the role of being a good girl.
Oh. When you say these things, it sends a shiver all the way down my spine and through my shaft. Honestly, it's I fucking love hearing you talk about it.
But that's how it makes me feel. So out of all the things that we do, this is probably the less degrading one for me. It's more like I'm obeying.
Yeah.
You're telling me what to do and I'm obeying, and I feel good for that.
Yeah.
Because I know that I know that you within that moment, you know I want to come. You're telling me not to, so I'm obeying you. So in your mind, you're like, good, she's done what I told her to.
Yeah.
And that's where I get my like kink, my praise. That's a kink praise.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is the opposite of verbal degradation. See, I was right. It's in there somewhere. So what it is exactly that, stopping people from coming, and normally when they're right on the edge. You know, getting someone to the edge and then stopping them, controlling that.
It's either edging them, denying them entirely, limiting their orgasm, or completely ruining it, completely stopping it.
That just sounds... I'm into all of it up until the last one. Because I've had a ruined orgasm. I can't remember if I've told this story. Where I was... Didn't know? Was it on one of the failed episodes at the start? So I've had a ruined orgasm, but it wasn't ruined by you. It was ruined by me.
Yeah.
Where had a great time. You were on your knees in front of me at the end, about to take a faceful. And the first little bit of cum that came out just hit you bang in the forehead, like a little smudge. And all that went through my head when I saw it and what I did. So to tell the story properly, that came out, I finished, but the orgasm was ruined because all I could see was this one blob. I then used my thumb to smudge across your forehead and just whispered, Simba. And that's what I ruined my orgasm.
And you ruined it for yourself.
And I was so annoyed at myself for that. Because it's my stupid brain. It's my thinking I'm funny. I've ruined it. It was like, got to do it. You got to do it. And it was like, no, don't do it. By this point, my orgasm's gone. I'm just now, my body's just doing bodily functions.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited to talk about those things, but I don't like the idea of...
You don't like the idea of it being done to you, and let's face it, it doesn't ever get done to you.
No. I don't mind being edged though.
No, yeah, I guess that you do it sometimes.
I do it to myself, with you there, but I'll do it to myself. But we do that to you.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a lengthy one, edging. You need to have a bit of time. I'll tell you what this works well with, things we've experienced at the start of our relationship. People in long distance relationships.
Yeah. So you still do control my orgasms.
Yeah.
But obviously when we were long distance, that was all on control of you.
Yeah.
I was allowed to come when you told me to. And if within that moment you was like, and now stop, I would stop and be like, oh, I hate you.
Yeah.
I think there was one time where I said something like, fuck you at the end, and you were mad at me.
Yeah. Because you were like, yeah, I really love this. And I'd be like, are you sure? Because you get a little bit upset. Like you would be like, oh my God, I really wanted to come that time. And I'd be like, you can later when I say you can. When I'm in a more comfortable position, and so we would do it when we're on the phone or over text when I was at work. And then I'd be like, no, because I'm going to watch you. And you're going to put the phone between your legs and I'm going to watch you. And you're like, okay. And then one time you're like, fuck you. And I was like, whoa, put the fucking brakes on there, girl. You're the one who said that you enjoy this as much as I do.
But again, all I'm thinking there, that was probably less of denial and like more of a borderline interruption.
Right, so talk through the pertinent points again. So edging, obviously denial.
Limitation.
So when you say limitation, is that like you're coming and then I just stop touching you? So I don't know if you could still, I think if you took me into the vinegar strokes and started making me come and then stop touching me, it would be almost painful. But whether that's ruining or not.
I think that is ruining.
Yeah.
Limiting, maybe limiting, that could be like limiting when you're allowed to come, how many times you're allowed to come, maybe.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you're especially like you say, when we were long distance, you would come way more than me because you limited the amount of times I was allowed to come.
Yeah. Sometimes of an evening we'd get on FaceTime and I'd just make you watch me. And I was like, don't sit on your hands. You're not touching yourself at all. And I knew you'd be itching to. Yeah. I was like, no, you don't do it. You don't even get to experience the pleasure unless I say so. That only works if both partners buy into it, because you could have just got off FaceTime and just jackhammered yourself around, what could I have done? But if you both buy into it, it's great. I think edging works really well both ways.
I personally disagree.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
So I understand the concept of it for a man. And I can only go obviously by personal experience as a woman, but for me, if I keep edging myself, I keep getting edge. When it actually comes to orgasm, as was the meaning.
I'm just genuinely terrified you're having a stroke.
When it comes to orgasming, that's right.
So having an orgasm, yes.
It either doesn't, it just takes forever to get there, or it's so like anticlimactic because I had all the builds up before and now it's like doesn't get as built up. All
right. Well, maybe that's, everybody's different.
That might just be me.
Yeah. So for me, I know if I edge myself a lot, I come a lot.
Yeah.
When I do come, I come a lot harder, which is why if I'm ever, sorting myself out of an evening and you're just kind of watching and talking to me, that's why I pretty much always edge myself. I'm never done in 2 minutes because it just doesn't feel as good.
Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, edging's a good one, I think. And this is something, again, you can do both ways if they enjoy it or even if they don't.
Well, that's it. It's still the control of it, isn't it?
Yeah. What else was there? So control.
Do you want me to repeat for the third time?
Yeah, please. Look, I'm hot. I'm sweating in here. I don't know if you can see it. I'm getting like little patches
I
in
see
my
a bead.
t-shirt. Yeah.
I think we've kind of covered it there, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's orgasm denial. So again, it's usually the dominant denying the submissive.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, but that's obviously because I'm a submissive. But if you think you're a submissive, I think you'll enjoy it, to be honest.
Do you know what's surprising for me? I enjoy watching the porn.
Okay.
I really enjoy. Does this make me?
What, men? You enjoy watching
I enjoy
men?
watching men get like so slowly teased by the hand, and I'm like, God, I know how that would feel.
I
know
like
how that would feel.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fucking hell.
That's why I sometimes like watching the milking porn, because it's so slow and sensual, and I'm like, oh, that's a build up.
Yeah.
I don't have a dick, but I imagine that's a build up.
That's what we can do tonight.
Okay.
We'll get a milking table.
We can cut a hole in this. It can be like the pod milking table.
Oh, imagine. We got to talk about when we're going to have guests on and who they're going to be.
Yeah.
Because we've got a plan, and it probably won't happen for a while. We got a plan that we're going to have a threesome with a chick, just a random girl, and then we're going to invite her to be interviewed immediately afterwards.
That could be so startling for her. That's probably something we're going to have to discuss before, because when she's getting up, cleaned and ready to go, we're like, do you mind just slipping into the room next door and like...
For like an hour.
Talking to us on podcasts that we're going to put out to the world.
There's only thousands of people that listen to it. Don't worry about it.
We're only minor stars.
Yeah, we are very, very minor. But yeah, so that's something we will do in the future, just as a slight side note.
Oh, are you happy with that?
I'm happy. Let's get into the fucking juicy juice.
So we're moving into naughty corner.
Naughty corner, motherfucker. I love this shit. I love it, honestly. It's so fucking hard throughout the week just waiting to hear this, because you're just so excited when we get a submission and read it, and you're like, oh,
but I don't
good.
really read them. I wait until the day we do the episode to fully read them.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we're starting off with this one. Hello, Luke and Chelsea. First, I'd like to say a massive thank you to you both. My partner and I have opened a whole new world thanks to you dirty dogs. You've made us laugh, but most importantly, talk about the things we wanted but kept secret. My partner grew up in a religious family and is now pretty keen to get down and dirty. Some of the new things that we've tried include sensory deprivation. We loved this. One of our sessions go on for so much longer because of the control the giver has, and it allows us to try new things with trust. She also convinced me to try bum stuff, both for me and her.
Nice.
Something I didn't know she wanted to do and never thought I would want to receive. But if Luke can do it, I'll pull up my big boy pants and give it a go too.
Yeah, boy.
And boy, an orgasm never felt so good. We came up with a dangerous safe word system. No means yes. Yes means no. Go means stop, and stop means go.
Jesus.
My brain does not have the capacity to deal with that in a moment of pure ecstasy.
I tell you what I'm going to do in that situation. Just going to keep going.
Keep going. Well, they said safe to say that during bondage and try and butt stuff, this led to some misunderstandings that made me walk like Bruce Wayne. It didn't help the missus doesn't even know her left and right, so I should have seen this coming.
Wow, that sounds familiar.
It does.
Wow.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way to do that.
No.
That confused the hell out of me.
Honestly, I love it though. I love their commitment to making it confusing.
Yeah. I wonder if this is, because I don't know who this couple is, but I wonder if this is the couple with the guy who said that he wants to be dominated by his girlfriend, but he's never really discussed it with her. Because he said that he's into trying some butt stuff, and they said that the giver, rather than explicitly saying him, that's just my speculation. But anyway, the main thing I've realised is that my partner is that she has a fetish for sex talk. I've noticed when I do talk to her during foreplay or sex, she comes almost straight away, especially if I mention impregnating her. I wondered if this is the case with most females during sex. Only problem is I can't concentrate on doing both. Is this normal for blokes to be silent? The next thing we want to try is taking the estate out to a secluded place. Any advice? It's naughty, but is it overrated? There's two questions there. One about the sex talk and the one about getting out in public.
Yeah. First of all, you're welcome. That's, again, honestly, fills my little heart with joy, because it's starting the conversation. So before we jump into this, I was walking through work. I've just started working at a new area, but I have friends all over the place. Walking through work in the gym, and one of the lads said to me, came up to me and was like, "Mate, fucking love your podcast. It's brilliant." And he was like, "Me and the missus are," he said, "You've basically got us talking about things because we would both want to, but it's how you bring up the conversation." But he went, "We just kind of listen to it together." And then I'm like, "Oh yeah, could you imagine watching me fuck one of your friends?" as a bit of a joke. And she's like, "Yeah, you know what, I could." And then it's like, "Okay, but would you? How would you feel?"
Yeah.
And then he was like, "You're the facilitator of the conversation." And that's obviously sounds like that's what we've done for this couple. And that's amazing. He then did shout across the gym as I was leaving, "Let's go get a Starbies," which pissed me off. But other than that, so yeah, 2 points to this. Sorry, Chelsea.
That's all right. Yeah, so I guess this is on you because the wife or the lady likes being dirty talked to, and he's struggling to concentrate. Is that normal for blokes? You got any tips there?
I mean, it depends on what you mean struggling to concentrate. If you enjoy watching your partner orgasm so much that you just literally will just stop and stare and keep doing what you need to do with mouth or fingers or toy, whatever you're using, that can be a bit normal because I love watching you.
Yeah.
But
I think also you haven't got to be too creative every single time. You can kind of dirty talk about the same things each time, just with extra words thrown in and a little extra in. It can be the same like fantasies almost that you talk about each time.
I was about to say that.
It doesn't have to be like something new, because I think if you're coming up with something new every time, mine would go blank.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you said. It's almost like a role play thing again.
Yeah.
Of you're just saying that's what you are. Like I'm gonna fill you up with cum and make you pregnant. You want me to, you know, get you pregnant and leave you dribbling with cum, don't you? Yeah. And and it's literally just replaying that phrase just a few times over. And if that's going to make her come straight away.
If that's a thing, you could talk about getting her pregnant in every single position.
Yeah.
And then every time you're having sex, you use a new position that time in a new way that you're going to impregnate her.
Exactly. Hats off to this geezer for going with it and like trying prostate stuff and anal stuff.
Yeah.
Because the amount of times that when I say to people, as I say, I'm working in a new place, I'm around the new team, and it'll be like, "All right, so you're a bit snaggy with the missus, yeah? Do you let her peg you?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "What?" Yeah, it's fucking class, lads.
It upsets me the amount of men that won't even.
But do you know why?
Fair enough, pegging, it might be a bit scary to them getting fucked, but they won't even allow a finger in while they're getting like a blowjob or like tossing themselves off or something.
Do you know why? You know the saying, "The lady doth protest too much"?
No, I do not.
You don't know that?
No.
It basically means that if you're so against something, it's because you're actually into it. Or you're
I see. Of course, yeah.
Yeah. So I think that they're just so insecure and scared of being like, I've done something that is against the norm.
Yeah.
And that might make me seem a certain way to people, that they're just small boys.
Do you know what? It does blow my mind. I think I was having a conversation with a friend about this recently. It's so expected for women to do anal and enjoy it.
Yep.
It pretty much is. It's an extra position that women are expected to receive at some point. However, women, we don't have any form of G-spot or anything in our arses. Yet the men do. Medically, we know this. So why are they the ones denying anything going up their arse when out of the two of us, they're probably going to have a better time than we are?
Because men are insecure. Men's egos are so fragile. That's all it is. That's genuinely all it is. And when people...
Do you know what's just come to my mind?
Go on.
That Family Guy episode.
Oh, relax, I'm a doctor. We watched that the other day.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're getting a little bit off topic. Sorry, this guy's wrote an absolute banging email, and we're buzzing with it.
So the dirty talk, just, you don't have to come up with something new every time.
No. You can, if that's the fantasy, that's the fantasy. I mean, it depends.
And sorry, just jumping on their second question. This isn't answering the second question, but so their second question is to do if they want to go out in public.
Yep. And
do some stuff. So when you're in the bedroom, talk about the fantasizing of that. Talk about next time we go out in the car, I'm going to pull over and I'm going to make you suck my dick until I come down your throat, and people are going to drive past. They might be able to see and see what little whore that you're being.
Yeah.
I was itching myself, actually. I was not touching myself.
I was like, oh, you're getting into this. But then that's...
any fantasies that they do have, they're things to talk about in the bedroom to get excited about what they're going to be doing.
That's honestly, that whole thing, I was about to say, you can delve into that pregnancy one more. Depending on whether you're into this and your partner's into this, this is a bit more risque, should you say. But I'll say it to you. I don't want to see you have sex with other men. Not really my thing, but I know that that's going to turn you on in the moment. So I'll say that to you. I'll be like, this comes back to the verbal degradation, but I'll be like, you're so worthless. I'm just going to let random men come in and fuck you and just use you. And I know that's turning you on because one, being degraded, and two, the idea of who wouldn't like the idea of just having multiple people desire them, being the center of attention.
Right.
You know, be like, you can explore that avenue. You can explore, I'm going to get you pregnant in public. I'm going to fuck you. Is it the public thing? Is it around being around people, being around people, or is it just being outside? Because you like outside stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not too fussed. I'm happy. I mean, we had a good time in a pub car park in the middle of the day once. Yeah. And I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'm going to be like, I'm horny, let's do something, but we need to be outside to do it, you know?
No, of course. So he says, is it overrated? I'd say if you went, right, we're going out in the car today, we're going to get in public, we're going to start having sex, it might not end as excitingly as you'd hoped, but in the moment, you're like, right, my dick's getting hard. Get round that corner. I'm going to come, slip your knickers to the side and slip it in. Or driving around, like I said, and I'm going to pull over and you're going to suck my cock, or I'll go down on you, vice versa. That could be exciting because that's within the moment. We're outside, we're naughty, we're going to get caught, and we're both mad horny right now. Don't matter where we are, we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So I don't think that part of it's overrated.
I agree. If you said to me like, right, we're going to go to the beach now, and we're going to get there and we're going to find a nice quiet spot, and then I'm going to start playing with you with my hands. I'm going to be like, should we just do this in the bedroom?
Yeah.
But if we go for a walk and you're like, feel how wet I am, and there's no one around, I'm going to be like, oh shit, it's on. That's the most exciting thing then. You know, it was
spontaneous in the moment.
It was in that pub and it was during the day, and it was literally, you had just slid we were like sat, you were almost straddling my knee a bit because it was a bit loud.
Oh yeah.
And you kind of brushed against me and I was like, well, that's made me hard. And I was like, let's go back to the car. You're like, oh, I've not finished my drink. I was like, get back to the fucking car. You know, that spontaneity of it, I don't think it's overrated at all.
No.
It depends how much of a pedestal you're going to put it on, realistically.
Yeah.
But,
give it a go. If you don't like it, you don't like it. If it feels overrated, don't do it again. You've given it a go.
Yeah.
And you might take something away from it that you enjoy.
I think the main thing to do is do it initially. If you're unsure, do it somewhere very secluded. The risk of getting caught is very, very minimal, because what you don't want to do is it be a bit iffy and then have, you know, Sandra, who runs the local walking club, come past, banging on your window, calling you disgusting perverts. That's definitely going to ruin it.
Unless you're into degradation.
Yeah, unless you're into Sandra, you know, playing into your kink and just getting told off. But no, I think that's... how amazing is it? How it sounds like their whole avenues have opened up.
Yeah, it's great.
I fucking love that. Maybe we need to do that on Top 100 Kinks, talking about outdoor sex.
Yeah. Well, we did cover exhibitionism.
Exhibitionism?
We haven't gone over voyeurism though, so we can go over that next time.
Yeah. All right. Stick voyeurism in.
Cool.
Honestly, I love that email.
Yeah.
I love that. And I love the fact that he's like, well, if Luke can do it, I can do it. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah,
I'm like a male icon. Yeah, I'm a big dick boy. People want to be like me.
Big DB.
But when he says he hasn't come, an orgasm's never felt so good. My fucking God, is he right?
I love that for him.
Telling you, it's amazing.
Cool. I think we've answered. You answered.
I hope so. If you've got any like follow-ups on that, or if you wanted to give us a bit more insight or whatever, if you just wanted to talk more about it, fire at us. We'll always try and respond the best we can. And if it's a really good conversation piece like this one has been, we'll do it on the pod, because I think it's important for people to hear this.
Cool. So I got a question here that I think a lot of people could experience at some point, so it's a good one to talk on. What do you do when your boyfriend has a higher sex drive than you? This
is, I think, a very common problem.
Yeah.
You told me why. I never really knew why. I've always had a higher sex drive than anyone else I've ever been with.
Yeah.
And I just thought, I'm a sexual animal. but there's a reason for it.
So the reason most men, this isn't the case because I know women that have higher sex drives than their boyfriends, but for the most part, as we all know, women work off a 28 to 30 day cycle, and during each week of that cycle, so our body will go through a different type of hormone. We'll get extra hormone here, we'll lose some hormone here. Not the technical terms, but
I know you.
All sorts go on with our bodies. That's why certain weeks of the month you'll find that your girlfriend's probably more horny than usual or more emotional than usual. It's just our hormone cycle, and it takes a whole month to cycle through. Men's reset after 24 hours.
There we go.
So, like I just said there, you'll have a week where your girlfriend's more horny during her cycle, and that's a great week for you, but then you've got like another 3 weeks until that's coming back round. Whereas the guy's having that hormone reset every 24 hours. So they need to fuck every 24 hours, really. And that's the scientific version of it.
Yeah. Absolute prof to be a lesbian couple.
Yeah.
Sync up.
Great.
Hormones sync up. Yeah. Both super horny at exactly the same time.
Great week every month.
Fair play, girls. I think it's a tough one because I think, and this might sound, does it sound harsh? Maybe. I don't know. But I think if you wanted sexual pleasure from me a lot more than I was willing to do, there's got to be a compromise.
Yeah.
And that's not like if
on
I was
both
like,
parts.
That's what I mean. So I both need to compromise. If you're like, I need you to be doing something to me 5 times a day, I'm going to be like, look, I work, my job's very physical. I'm fucking tired sometimes. Can't do that every time. Okay. You need to understand that. But even when I'm not feeling it, if I've got time, I'll fuck you, or I'll go down on you, whatever.
I think before you even get into that part of the conversation, like how many times are they wanting sex a day or a week? Because I can't remember you remember, but I was talking to you about an article that I read about a woman not too long ago who she was like, I would never be able to date a man who can't keep up with my sex drive. I was like, okay, I'll read this. And when it said what her sex drive was, she wants sex several times a day, every day. She also has a few kids. And I was like, how the hell is she juggling her life around looking after kids, just living, and then having sex several times a day? Yeah. And some poor guy can't keep up with that. They're not for her. So I think to establish him exactly how often and when he needs it. And does it always have to be sex?
Yep. I mean, it's hard because I can't imagine ever being with somebody with a higher sex drive than me. Yeah. But it has to be a compromise. Well, I compromise.
I was about to say, I think of it the other way around. Imagine being with someone I know you're going to be with people with lower sex drives, but imagine a really low sex drive. How would that make you feel?
I would struggle.
Yeah.
Because it's like affirmation. Mm-hmm. You know, it's the confirmation of our passion. The reason why I love our sex life so much is because we can just explore so much. But when we do it, it's like, yeah, we're about this. Yeah. And, you know, casual sex is a thing. You can just fuck somebody and it just be physical and enjoyable. It's not about the connection between the two of you. Mm-hmm. That's a physical act. But when it's a relationship, it is about the emotional side of it. There is an emotional side of it.
So I've got 2 things to make a point on that. The first being, sex doesn't have to be sex. And what I mean by that is, it doesn't have to be an act that you perform every time. Sex between 2 people, especially within a relationship, should be fun and enjoyable. Doing things that you maybe haven't done before, maybe things that you want to try. It shouldn't just be this like monotonous, let's go to the bedroom, let's have sex, let's be done. Because that could make anyone's sex drive just go, I'm getting too deflated for this. Yeah. Like, is there enough fun within their sex side of their relationship?
Is there enough communication?
Yeah.
You know, there's the very likely possibility that she just isn't as horny as you. That's absolutely fine. But are there other boxes that aren't being ticked? Are there other things? And you got to think, where women are so much more emotional or emotionally led, it can be simple things like doing things around the house, helping her, support her, listening about her day. That can be really, really actually erotic when it comes to that physical connection. And like
it's like what we spoke about the other day, that foreplay doesn't start at the kissing moment. It starts at the beginning of the day.
Exactly. And that's that kind of thing, understanding their point of view and understanding what actually makes her feel connected with you. It's a very tricky topic because it's very case dependent, case by case dependent. And sometimes there'll be absolutely nothing wrong and that's just how they feel. Sometimes people go off other people, and I'm not trying to put negative thoughts in your head, but these are all the different avenues we could go down. You know,
the second thing I was going to say is like I've been in relationships in the past where my sex drive has been super low, and that's not to say that theirs was high.
Your poor ex.
It's to say that there was something wrong within the relationship, because now I'm with you, I'm a horny little devil. I love you, and I'm so fulfilled in all other areas. So again, like you say, it could be things within their actual relationship that's making her sex drive just not creep up.
Exactly. And I think that again, you have to be candid. If you're the person itching for sex and you have to go to your partner and be like, look, you need to be open and honest. What more can I do? What is it that I can do? Because you'll be surprised how many men will demand sex when they're not contributing to the relationship, not contributing to household stuff. They're not emotionally supportive of their partner. I'm very pro man in the world. I'm not somebody who's like, you know, men are the problem. I think people are the problem.
Yeah.
But men, I think, can be very bad at this. Very, very bad. And don't get me wrong, there's certain women who will be very lazy and let themselves go and not, you know, want to look after the house or be emotionally supportive. Exactly the same. That happens. I think men are very good at this because we just kind of see it as like, well, I'm here for the sex. Like we should be having sex because I'm a man and you're a woman. Whereas women need so much more. Women need that just fulfillment, like you said.
I'd take a look at your relationship as a whole, and you, I mean, you'll know you don't need to stare too much into your relationship to see if you're unhappy about anything, whether that's quality time together or whether that's, like Lee says, things around the house. And if there's any part of you that feels there's a lack of in the relationship, have a conversation about that. See if you can start repairing the areas where it's fallen. And when he's performing well in them areas, or you're happy within them areas, you know, you might be a bit more sexy towards him. You might feel a little bit more sexual desire towards him.
Yeah.
Because there could be nothing worse than coming home and the bloke's done absolutely fuck all. He's expecting you to, like, you know, do dinner or sort the kids out and tidy the house up, get ready for bed. And then you get into the bedroom, he's there expecting sex. And you're like, you've pissed me off this evening. I haven't said it, but in my mind, I'm pissed off at you because you've done fuck all. I'm not giving you sex right now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a bigger picture.
Yeah. Some people wouldn't even know that they're really pissed off. They would just feel alone. They would just feel unsupported, and they would feel, I can imagine that it almost hits a point of a stranger's trying to have sex with you. You know, you're like, you're not with me. I don't like you. You know, and he's in the bedroom waving his dick around like a lightsaber. And you're like, I don't, we're not a partnership right now. Yeah. And we've kind of angled this towards the man. That it just needs to be a full candid conversation of understanding your relationship. Like I say, sometimes you just have to compromise. You know, you just have to compromise. I've been there. I've been in relationships for years where I've just had to compromise. And it's not the most fun, but it becomes normal. But I think there is a real risk as well. We'll cap this one off, but there is a real risk of normalizing a low sex drive, and then that then goes down a little bit more, and then before you know it, you're a married couple who doesn't have sex, and then you're both separately.
And that's so easy to do. I can't even tell you the amount of girls, including myself, that I've spoken to, and they've said at least one point in one of their relationships, I thought I was asexual. You're like, yeah, because you lost it all.
Yeah.
And that's not because you don't want sex, it's because your relationship's gone to shit. Like you say, you're just chipping away at that sex drive.
I've never thought I was asexual. One time I put my boxers on so fast I nearly blew a load. That was how starving I was for sex.
Right.
Okay,
cool.
So again, any further points on that, hit us up. Let's get on to the funny shit.
The funny stuff. Oops, wrong hole.
Hey, sometimes it can be the right hole, you know? Maybe we need to change that.
Cool. So a few years ago, I was on a night out. I pulled a guy and decided to do the unclassy thing of inviting him back to mine for a fun adult night. One of my turn-ons is giving head, and after telling the guy I wanted to suck his dick during some foreplay, he naturally became even more excited. Just prior to going down on him, he warned me he hadn't had sex in a long time and would probably come really quickly. Not to blow my own trumpet, but I'm used to guys coming quickly when I go down on them, so this didn't faze me too much. True to his word, within 60 seconds, he was coming down my throat. But that wasn't the only fluid.
Oh, no.
As soon as he finished coming, turns out he had completely lost control of his bladder and was now starting to piss in my mouth.
Fucking hell. Go on, finish it. Go on.
This is the only time in my life I can say I haven't swallowed. I kicked him off the bed, where he then proceeded to uncontrollably piss all over my bedroom carpet while groaning like he didn't even realise he was no longer coming. Thank fuck we never saw each other again.
What the fuck?
I don't know what the feel of male anatomy is, but can you ever just start pissing because you're coming so hard?
Absolutely not. No.
So he's done the equivalent of a lady squirting there.
Kind of. This poor girl. What
all
the fuck?
over her bedroom,
exactly.
And her carpet.
Like, it doesn't matter if he's disappeared, but his piss hasn't. Your room's still going to stink of piss, and no matter what, he's always going to be like, oh, she still took my cum in her mouth. You know? Fucking hell. Oh, the fact that he just carried on groaning around. I can imagine him just rolling in it. You know if you're pissing. You know.
I guess.
It doesn't feel the same. It's not the same.
Maybe he thought, if I just brush this off and act like I'm still coming, she might believe it's cum.
That would be the wildest shit. Imagine. Like, no, it's not piss. It's just like see-through yellowy cum. It's just how I come. No, you got problems, bruv. Yeah. That's fucking mental. That's fair play to her kicking him out straight away.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, fucking hell. Fuck me. As soon as you were going there, I was like, right, this is either going to go one or two ways. He's either just going to blow his load as soon as she touches the tip, or he's going to piss.
Yeah. 60 seconds, good going.
I mean, if you haven't had sex in a long time.
There.
Yeah. I know for a fact, as soon as someone's given the pre-excuses of like, oh, by the way, I haven't had sex in a long time.
You know they're coming quickly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've been there. I've been about to come for the last 4 hours. It's been a long time. I'm taking medication, which makes me super sensitive. If I come now, I can come again in a bit. Don't worry, it's all good. Yeah, I've been there. And then just, bam, see you later, Hiroshima, and I'm fucking gone.
Poor guy, poor girl. Right. This one I don't believe is true, but we're going to go for it.
Okay. All right. Again, fucking firing shots.
I am.
Calling someone a liar.
I have a kink for an older lady. I love a cougar. There's something very sexy about an older woman. I was curious and signed up for fuck a Granny, sorry.
Why am I so good at knowing where these are going? Why am I so upset about where this one's going?
This was a mistake. As I was scrolling, I saw an older woman who didn't have a face shown. I messaged her and she had a pretty sexy body.
Fuck off.
After exchanging a few messages, she sent me a picture of her face.
Of course she did.
It was my nan.
Of course it was. Fuck off. Oh my fucking God.
I just can't see it being true. But if it is, that is wild.
Did he say he sent any dick pics? Yeah, exactly. Did he send any dick pics to her?
No.
I reckon
he said, but he probably did.
Oh God, that's fucking. If that's true, I don't think that's that unbelievable.
You don't?
No, I had a mate, and I know he listens to the pod. And I know his girlfriend listens to the pod with him. But I'm going to bring it up anyway. Oh, but he used to fuck old women. I think he fucked like an 80-year-old when he was in his early 20s.
I'm not saying I don't believe younger men fuck grannies or have a desire to. I get that. I just can't believe how all the women that would have been on fuck a granny. And can someone also please confirm, is fuck a granny a real thing?
Did you not check?
No. Did you?
I didn't know. I'll have a look in a bit. Maybe it's something we can explore.
No way.
You wouldn't want to see me fuck a granny?
Absolutely no.
Why not? What if she's a really hot granny?
No.
What if it's Jennifer Aniston as a grandma?
She's not a grandma.
What if she was?
Well, perhaps.
There we go.
I'm pretty sure they're not the grannies he was going for.
But imagine if it's just grannies in your local area. There's not, number one, actually think about this. So imagine it's in this area we live in.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say where it is, obviously. We live in an area that's fairly densely populated, not the most densely populated, but fairly densely populated. How many women over 60 are either widowed or divorced and also DTF, like down to fuck younger men? How many are there?
I reckon there's quite a lot.
But on a website, so probably say there's 50.
Do we need to do some research here? On
I don't think I should.
fuckagranny.com.
I don't think I should. So I'll be really, really suggestive. Like, babe, look.
She's free tonight.
Marjorie's a freak. She's got body and she's a freak. But yeah, I think that's quite likely. If you think about your local area and if your nan lives in your local area, imagine there's 60 in this area. We're gonna look. I'm gonna look tonight.
We're gonna have to look.
Yep, we're gonna have to look. So there's 60 in this area, and how many are gonna have good bodies? That you're like, all right, that's a good chassis, fair one. That if that's what you're into.
Okay.
Say there's 5.
Right.
And your nan's got a great chassis.
Oh, stop.
You got a 1 in 5 chance of ending up hitting up your nan.
Right. If the guy's
and
listening to
firing
this,
off some great shots of your pipe.
if the guy who listens to this, please can you come back to us and tell us more? I want to know more to this story. Like, did you send dick pics? Like, what happened after?
Does it say it's definitely a guy? Might be a girl.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a guy. I haven't got it in front of me now, but
All right.
I want to know.
Yeah, I want to know more details. I want to know dick
Please
pics.
give
I
us
want to know
all the
what
details.
happened. Did you tell her who you were? Or
Did
you
she
just...
know who she
No,
was? Yeah.
you couldn't. If you got the face pic of your nan, you'd have to immediately delete your account,
You
right?
are never going to go to a family do. Christmas is ruined.
I want to know if you saw how intimate were her shots other than just having a good chassis. Did you see titties?
Did you see where your mum came from?
Wow. I was going to be, this is nan. I was going to be way more like tender about that. But yeah, did you see her snatch?
I want all the details.
Yeah. Yeah. Buttholes, anything. Want to know. I apologise to my boy that I called out for fucking grandmas, but he'll love it. He'll love it. It's a thing. It happens.
I get it.
It absolutely happens.
Right. Last one.
Oh, we got another one.
We got one
Shit,
more.
I thought that was it. Okay, go on.
My ex and I were fooling around after having a few too many drinks one night, and she stood up on the bed to stand over me so she could sit on my face. She technically succeeded. She lost her balance in the process and fell on my face like a hammer hitting a fucking nail. I yelled as this happened and ended up blowing a bunch of air in her vagina that all came out suddenly, noisily rushing back when she got off me. It completely killed the mood for both of us, but we had a pretty good laugh about it after.
I thought he was going to get a broken nose or something, not try and blow her up like a balloon. Honestly, queefs are funny. They're funny. There's just no...
But they're so normal.
They're also normal. There's nothing wrong with them. There's been no point where, you know, your vagina's answered me back that it's ever ruined the mood. I'm just like, cool, yeah, whatever. People who get bent out of shape.
I think a lot of women, when we were younger, again, having spoken to many of them, we all used to get mad anxiety about doggy position because you just knew that you was going to have some air come out after.
Yeah, but who cares?
No, I don't care now.
Yeah, well, I know what you mean. That's probably like old school fear.
Yeah, it's like a child.
Yeah.
What? Teenage fear.
Young adult fear. Jesus, woman. No, they were good though. I enjoy it. I just imagine how much that would ruin the mood.
Yeah.
I want to touch on.
I don't know. I feel like if I went down on you and hit your face like that, your instant reaction would be pure anger. Like, get off me, don't touch me.
It depends how much you hurt my nose.
Yeah.
Because that would be the only thing. My face can take hits. So I've boxed and played rugby and stuff in the past. My face can take some hits, so I'm not too worried. But when you get hit in the nose, you just get angry.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it. You just get angry. You know what I mean? But yeah, so now I want to touch on something I spoke about again with the boys at work. We were talking about like, what would you do if you were in a complete vegetative state, if you had an accident and you were pretty much brain dead and they were going to turn the machine off, like how would you want it to be? And I was like, it's so weird that you've brought this up because I have a near written contract with my wife that she has to sit on my face and suffocate me with her vagina. No underwear, no nothing. Just sobbing while she'll suffocating me with your vagina.
Yeah.
So that guy was almost there.
Yeah.
Like,
if he had passed out, that would have been worth it.
If they both passed out, imagine. That'd have been amazing. Okay, that's it. That's it for this week. Episode 6. We're nearly getting to double figures.
We're
I say it every
there.
week.
Yeah.
We're getting there. But yeah, what are our socials?
Follow us on socials, which are Ironing Out the Kinks. All one word.
On
Instagram. Oh, God. TikTok and Facebook. I don't know why I wanted to say Shopify, and we have no affiliations with Shopify.
Why you... Honestly, we need to get you out of this hot room.
I know.
Because there's something going wrong with you. As we said at the start, hit us up with any of your submissions that you got. We'd love to hear them. Anything that we've discussed that you think you might have something to input on, please just let us know. It's all about starting that conversation for people, because it's seriously, as we've seen a couple of times now, it's starting to help people.
Yeah,
and we're only 6 episodes in. We want to make this like something that becomes more and more frequently spoken about in such a wider variety, so that we don't have to necessarily help as many people, because it's already been catered for by opening up this conversation. So follow us on our socials, submit to us on our website, iotk.fun, and yeah, stay safe and keep fucking.
Bye.
Bye.